Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a topic that's, well, let's just say it's incredibly divisive within Islam, temporary marriage. And it brings up some huge questions about love, commitment, and what marriage even means in our world today.
So let's just jump right in with a pretty wild question. Can a marriage be considered legit if it has a built-in expiration date? We're talking a year, a month, or maybe even just a single hour. The answer you get to that question is really at the heart of this whole thing.
And wow, this one quote, it just shows you how high the stakes are. To one side, this practice is a man-made sickness, but to the other, it's a divinely given option. So what exactly are we talking about here, and why does it get people so fired up?
All right, so first things first, what exactly is temporary marriage? Before we can get into the why, we've got to understand the what and the how. The practice is called Nikah Mutah. Now, literally, that translates to pleasure marriage. It's a type of temporary marriage contract found in 12er Shia Islam. And here are the two absolute must-haves that are agreed upon right from the very start: the exact duration, how long it will last, and the dowry, or mahar, that gets paid to the woman.
Now you might be thinking, this sounds kind of informal, but according to its supporters, that's not the case at all. There are very specific rules. Both the man and woman have to state they intend to enter the contract, that duration and dowry have to be locked in, and the bride has to meet certain conditions. And this is really important. After the contract is over, the woman has to observe a waiting period called Iddah. That's mainly to figure out who the father is if she becomes pregnant.
And this right here, this is the central conflict. You have two totally opposite viewpoints, both coming from within the same religious tradition. And you better believe both sides feel like they are the ones defending the true principles of their faith.
And you really couldn't find two views that are more black and white. On one side, it's seen as a totally legitimate practice that actually empowers and protects women. And on the other, it's condemned as nothing more than a loophole to religiously approve prostitution. So let's look at the arguments for it. Supporters, like the perspective you see on sites like MuslimGirl.com, see Mutah as a practical fix for real-world issues. They say, look, it's a lawful way to be together instead of committing adultery. It protects women with a formal contract, it can help engaged couples get to know each other, and it's an option for widows or divorced women who might want companionship without the whole commitment of a permanent marriage.
And this quote pretty much nails their whole argument. The idea is that Mutah is a shield. It's meant to be a protective measure, giving women power through a contract that sets the terms up front. It's about more than just sex.
But then, we flip to the other side and the criticism is incredibly harsh. Critics, like the author J.R. Ahmed, argue it stomps all over core Quranic ideas, like not having secret marriages and the importance of chastity. They also point to the fact that the woman in this contract gets no inheritance and that the dowry is often so small it feels less like a wedding gift and more like, well, a payment.
In this quote really captures the absolute worst-case scenario that critics fear. The argument is that, far from protecting women, this practice can be twisted into a system of abuse, creating a way for women, and even young girls, to be exploited over and over again under a religious cover.
So you have to be wondering, how in the world can two groups within the same faith see this in such fundamentally different ways? Well, as it so often does, it all comes down to a battle over the holy book itself.
Believe it or not, this entire enormous debate hangs on this one verse from the Quran, and really on one specific Arabic word, istimta'tum. Supporters of Mutah translate it as profiting by or enjoying, and they believe it's a direct reference to temporary marriage. But opponents, they read that exact same phrase in the context of a permanent marriage, translating it to mean seeking a better quality of life through marriage. Two totally different readings of the same text. And, to make things even more complicated, some Shia scholars argue that the original version of this verse actually included the phrase, "for a specified period." Now, if that were true, it would be a slam dunk for Mutah. But, and this is a huge but, those words are not in the standard, universally accepted text of the Quran that all Muslims use today.
You know, this isn't some new argument that just popped up. This is an old fight. The historical records are all over the place. The Hadith, which are the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, have stories of him both allowing Mutah and later forbidding it. Then, a little later, the second caliph, Umar, is said to have banned it for good, but Shia Muslims have disputed that decision for centuries, and it's still a major split between them and Sunni Muslims today.
So all of this leaves us right back where we started, with this one massive unresolved question. Is temporary marriage a divine provision, or is it a human invention?
I think the key takeaway here is that this isn't just some abstract theological debate. It's a conflict that's been raging for centuries, and it's all rooted in how you read scripture, how you interpret history, and what you believe the purpose of marriage truly is. The answer really just depends on who you ask.